What I'm experimenting with here is just to take a fairly everyday object and just do something silly around it, just to record something, just to edit something, just to put a thought together and put it out for someone to see. So in this case, I was at a antique store and saw this old phone that reminded me of my childhood and thought it was cool. Was going to buy it, hang it on the wall, and then all of a sudden these stories started churning about, what if I hang it on the wall and it starts ringing, or whatever, something like that, right? I wanted just to do something simple with it to get started, so hung it on the wall, and I just did 4 quick shots with the Blackmagic camera on a tripod. Just did some very basic sound design, created a sort of atmospheric background sound in Logic, and just pieced it together just for a 30-second video, trying to create a little bit of a mystery for it. I also wanted to use some built-in things for Final Cut and from Logic, tools that are readily available on the App Store. Nothing special. Anyone can do this with just the off-the-shelf stuff. So even the sound effects, the phone ringing, the sound effect of picking it up, the dial tone, all of those sound effects were just already in Final Cut, so very, very easy to use. So, and even for the Logic side, I literally pulled up one keyboard, I held down one key on the keyboard and adapted a few little sounds here and there, and in one take came out with that Stranger Things type vibe. So let's get into it a little bit, and I'll show you really quickly exactly how I did it in like 30 minutes or so. All right, so to get started, I already had the phone on the wall, and so I just framed up a basic shot with my Blackmagic 4K camera on a tripod at about eye level or so, and I knew that I wanted to gradually go in on the camera to create that suspense. I had this sound effect where it rings 4 times, so I thought, well, that makes sense. Let's just push in 4 times. So I set up the tripod, fairly far away, and then recorded about 4 seconds. Moved in a little bit further, another 4 seconds, and again, and then one more time, and then the last time I actually reached in front of the camera and just picked the receiver up off the hook, just to add a little bit to it. That was when I timed up the sound effect for that and the dial tone. I had lots of different ideas about what could be said in a telephone type voice or whatever, but I just wanted to do something very, very fast and just get it done. I used the 25mm Lumix 1.7 really just because I kind of wanted that dark feel, and so this is a really, really great low light combination with the Blackmagic camera. So I think it has a certain look to it. It looks pretty good. Obviously it could have been a lot better, but like I said, this is trying to do all of this in like 30 minutes or so. So then for the background music, the ambience, I kind of wanted something that kind of was spooky sounding, and then maybe kind of had that Stranger Things kind of pulse at the end. So in Logic Pro X, I created an Alchemy synth track, and I used the Soundscapes Evolving for the soundtrack. Then I picked the Dark Timbre and messed around with the Drama patch a little bit, and you'll see here that if you move the Morph XY pad, it adds a little bit of a high pitch, kind of an anxiety element to the whole thing. So, and then at the end of it, I moved this Rhythm XY pad over a little bit to the right, and it starts to create this pulse, like what you hear on Stranger Things, like this analog synth type of pulse. And so really, on this track, this was the first take. I just pulled this up. I didn't even have a MIDI keyboard hooked into it. I just used the built-in music keyboard and held down one key and let it just run the entire time while I adjusted these other settings, and that was what I got. I just I thought it was decent for what I'm trying to do here. So obviously, if you spend more time with it, you layer more things, you can add some strings, you can add different things that make it more cinematic. But for this case, I just wanted something very, very fast. All right, so the last step here was to pull everything into Final Cut and to time everything up with the cuts right on time with the rings. So as you can see here, I've pulled in the ring file, and I'm timing these clips up so that they jump right when the phone rings. And then you can see here where I've timed up the sound to pick up the receiver and then the dial tone. And then I timed all of this up to fit with the track that I created in Logic Pro so that the rhythmic pulse started right on the last ring so that it created the most anticipation of what was going to happen, which of course is nothing. So, yet. Anyway. One of the main points behind this video is to take things in small chunks. So that's really what I wanted to accomplish with this. I wanted to just create something that was fast that I could finish in a night easily. So the main thing to take away from all this is that simple ideas equal finished projects. All right, so what's next? More of these. I'm going to find more objects around the house and create little stories about them. I don't know, maybe I'll do something with this guy right here. Maybe I'll create some story around that's only 30 seconds or a minute long, and then I'll go in and do something that's 2 minutes long or something like that. And so eventually I will feel comfortable doing a 5-minute or a 10-minute long video. As I create more of these things and as more people see them, then I'll have more friends that want to create these types of things as well. And so you begin to build on that. You begin to take these small steps and you begin to take larger steps until eventually you're where you want to be. So I hope that this was helpful for someone out there. If you enjoyed it or got something out of it, please consider subscribing or giving this video a like. So I hope you enjoyed it and you go out there and make something of your own. See you next time.